Do not mock our technical difficulties, sir. Oh, we're live. Okay, now it's really loud here at E3, so we have to do something we don't normally have to do, and that's passing the microphone back and forth. So take it away, Amy.
Welcome everybody to podcast 111, the E3 cast. We are broadcasting live from E3 on Wednesday, June 8th, 2011. This will be available to download shortly, sometime today on iTunes, or on YouTube. But on iTunes, it will be available on June 13th, 2011. We have a great show for you today. We're going to have a bunch of interviews with those demoing. We're going to have folks from the DC Universe team, the EQ2 team, Clone Wars team, Free Realms, the Magic the Gathering Tactics team, and folks from the PlayStation Network. Sorry, the PlayStation Network guys. They're developing Payday, and I'm stuttering. So sorry about that. So here in the booth, we have a lot of good demos going on. Like I said, DC Universe, EQ2, and then we also have Rochard, which is coming out later in the year on the PlayStation Network, and Akimi Village as well. We didn't get any of those developers on the cast, but we want to tell you that they're being demoed here. So.
Yeah, it's really too bad that you can't be here, but we'll do our best to bring a little bit of what SOE has to offer to your doorstep. So actually, we're running a little behind schedule because of the inevitable technical difficulties that always haunt these things. So we'll bring on our first guest, Mark Anderson from DCUO. Let's find him. There he is. We're ready for you, sir. Okay, so this is Mark Anderson from DCUO, also known as Manderson,
that's right.
Which sounds really good. So what is your official title now, and what is it you're doing with DCUO here?
My official title now is Game Director, so if you love it, it's my fault. If you hate it, I can find somebody else and it'll be their fault. So now I'm in charge of making sure, working with the creative director, working with the other various directors, the technical director, the art director, to make sure that the game puts its best foot forward, and that we always do make the best game we know how to make.
So, and at the same time as we're demoing here at E3, you guys are also working really hard on Game Update 3, aren't you?
Game Update 3 is ready to go live any day now. It's imminent. I promise you it is imminent. Days.
He sounds so very sincere when he says that.
I am sincere.
I can hardly wait to try it out. It is being demoed here at the moment, though, isn't it?
Actually, our demo here is Game Update 4, which is coming later this summer. So we're taking you inside the Fortress of Solitude. We know players want their Superman. We know you love the Man of Steel. So we have a demo that takes you inside the Fortress of Solitude, has Supes teaming up with Lex Luthor, teaming up with General Zod in this demo. And we give you a sneak peek inside the fortress. We've got a teaser trailer, shows a little bit of some of the cameos that we've got. We've got Crypto in there. So I think Superman fans should be really happy, and this is going to be our next 8-man raid.
I know that the people that have been coming by the booth have really been raving about the demos that they've been playing, so I think they're fairly pleased with it. And I noticed that they're all trading in their very plain, boring E3 lanyards for the nice DCUO ones with Green Lantern.
That's right, featuring Green Lantern and Sinestro.
So that's a very cool thing. Thanks very much for dropping by here, Mark, and we'll send you back to entertain the players who are here.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so who's next?
I believe we have the EQ2 guys coming in next. Yeah?
Are we going to fit 2 guys in here?
I don't know. Do we have room for 2 guys? I'll come out and let the 2 guys come in. So I'll be back.
So actually, Dave needs to bring that with him. I mean, this is possibly a new pet for EQ2. It kind of looks like a tribble with square edges, like something Wendy's might make. Come have a seat. All right, so here we are with, look, he's just putting this here to protect himself from me, I can tell. This is Dave Georgeson, also known as Smoke Jumper and many other names, and he is the executive producer of the EQ2, or of the EQ franchise. So, and Greg Spence, in from the sidelines.
Amy told me to take her spot.
That's awesome.
Don't touch me.
I don't know if you can fit us or not.
They'll adjust. Moving over. Come on. I was tested for rabies earlier this year. So now we're also joined by Greg Spence, who is the lead programmer on EQ2. So what are you guys demoing here?
3D. Sony Vaio recently put out some new 3D hardware and laptops and monitors. And because we've had stereoscopic 3D in the game for over a year, they kind of tapped us on the shoulder and said, can you come up with something cool? And sure as hell we did. We came up with put an ether race in Velius, and then used the new Pegasus to use as the mount as it goes through it all and everything like that. It's been really, really cool. And plus, for anybody that hasn't seen it in 3D, find somebody with a 120 hertz monitor and go check it out, because it's amazing.
Or come to Fanfare,
Yeah, or come to
because I'm sure
Fanfare.
we'll be showing it off there.
Right, so people will have a chance to try it hands-on.
Yeah.
Now, is this going to set you back $1 bazillion to play EQ2 in 3D?
No, not
No,
really.
not a lot. If you go with something like the NVIDIA system, it's about $200 for the glasses and the emitter, and then you're looking at probably about another $300 for a monitor, although they're starting to come down. If you want to do like the Sony Vaio laptop, you get the monitor, it even comes with a pair of glasses. Obviously it's a whole laptop, so it's a little bit more expensive, but you get everything you need right in that package to play.
Right,
It's
so
reasonable if you think of it in terms of a video card.
I tend to. I really like my graphics in a game like this. So do we also have to
Well-
upgrade our computers themselves? I mean, does this
No.
increase the load of the game
You
at all?
shouldn't.
No.
You need at least a minimum of an NVIDIA 8600 graphics card.
True.
But by today's standards, most people probably have that.
Okay, so what's the one word that you would use to describe EQ2 in 3D?
I'm buying a monitor. I know that's not one word, but I'm buying a monitor, because that's the way I want to play the game from now on. After working on the race and then being able to see it here at the show and watching people's reactions, that's the way I want to play.
I don't know if I could wrap it up in a word, but the one thing it does for me is I notice the environment art so much more in 3D, because you get the depth of things.
Right,
It makes you want to go back and look at old zones because you see them in a new light. So like I
Oh
run
my
around
God.
clefts of Rougeark and Sinking Sands, you know, that zone's 5 years old, but you go back in there and you notice all the bridges going across and all the depth, because it's so much more vibrant in 3D.
And the particles emanating out from the players and the lighting, and like the Pegasus wing was flapping towards the camera and it looked like it was coming out of the screen at me.
Yes.
You know, that kind of stuff. It was really cool.
Well, now you guys are really verbose. I can tell you that I had a one-word response when I first put those glasses on and saw the game, and that was just awesome.
Yeah,
So,
really cool.
yeah, I know what I'm going to be sinking some of my wages into this year.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for dropping by, and you guys head back and entertain the players with this really cool 3D setup.
Leapers and gliders, leapers and gliders.
Oh, sorry. Dave, did you want to say something about leapers and gliders?
If you haven't checked out the announcement on EQ2 players, on EverQuest2.com, go. It's we're going to be debuting them later this month, and if it sounds fun in the article, I can't tell you how much more fun it is to actually play them. They're great.
Okay. But what are leapers and gliders?
Oh, okay.
Mosquitoes?
So at so from level 1 to 30, you get ground mounts. At level 30, you'll have access to do a quest and get a free leaper mount. And basically what that is the leaper kind of super jumps through the air. And then as you fall down like this, you control your movement as you fall so that you can kind of steer where you land, which is cool. Like when you go into Butcher Block, which is where the quest is at level 30, you can jump from rock pillar to rock pillar to rock pillar. That whole aviac thing is more fun to play with. There's a lot of stuff that's really cool. And then at level 60, you get the when you're in Tenebrous Tangle, you can pick up a quest to be able to get a wind Komodo, which is a glider, and it's like a leaper. It jumps into the air like this, but then when it gets towards the top of its jump, you can snap out the wings and then glide in motion like this, and then occasionally like collapse the wings and fall, and then snap them out again at a different altitude.
Wow.
It's very cool. And then when you get to 90, you can get the flyer that you're used to in the game now already.
That's really nice. I love all of the variety that you're bringing to EQ2 all the time.
Oh yeah, and this is the tip of the iceberg. Fanfare is going to be so much fun this year. We have so much stuff to announce. It's going to be a good year.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Thanks
yeah.
very much for coming by, Dave and Greg. Okay,
Cool.
bye. Now, who do we have next?
Clone Wars Adventures is next.
Awesome.
Todd's not over here yet.
Oh no,
I don't know what we're going to do. We're ahead of schedule.
I don't know. Oh, are we? Oh, that's why he's not here yet. All right, we'll just talk amongst ourselves. E3 has been a blast this year so far. I mean, it's really loud here, but really cool stuff. And I'm really glad that SOE's here. We've had a lot of traffic through the booth.
Oh, yes.
We're giving away, do we have a copy of one of those pamphlets?
No, but we should get one.
We have a really cool pamphlet that each of our games has a code that can be scanned in and redeemed for station cash. And so that's a really neat
Yes.
feature that we've had
It's
here.
very cool, and everybody's getting them, and we're handing them out. And they're really excited.
the other thing that we've got going is the AV team has got a green screen set up. Now, for those of you who have been to Fanfare before, you're familiar with a green screen. We take your picture, and the background comes out, and you're superimposed onto an image. Oh, fantastic. So with the green screen, you're superimposed on an image from one of our games. And the folks have been uploading these steadily. We've got hundreds of them now on our Facebook page. Is that on the SOE.com Facebook page? Okay, so it's on Facebook, and then facebook.com/SOE. And you can see them all there. For the people who have had their pictures taken here, they can go there and download the images that they've had taken. And some of them have been tagged already. I admit I got on the Pegasus for this one.
And then I tagged her in it.
She did, because that's kind of what Amy does.
Yeah, it's real cool.
And I see that Todd is standing by, so we'll wave him over now. Yo, Todd! Come on over.
We're early.
We are. Hey, we don't waste any time here. We were actually a little bit worried because we had a few technical issues to start with. But our amazing team of Joel and Robin, they're sitting here, I'm going, we've got 10 minutes, and they're going, yeah. We've got 5 minutes, yeah. Finally, the tags come off, and Joel's all getting serious, and we got on time. So, yeah, we're ahead of schedule. Anyway, this is Todd Carson, and he is the producer for Clone Wars Adventures, and that's one of the games that we're demoing here at E3. What can you tell us about the game and what's going on with it?
Well, Clone Wars Adventures is a virtual world based on the cartoon Clone Wars, and it takes place on the web, www.clonewarsadventures.com. It's a game really for everybody. We target kids that are 8 to 12, but adults play it, fans of any Star Wars movie like to play it. It's a collection of mini games, and one of the coolest things that we've been doing lately is adding multiplayer games. Adding squads, which is really like a guild.
So cooperative games then?
Cooperative games, social gameplay. We modified the UI for chat so that it's easier to see. I'm trying not to talk with my hands here, because
no, you can do that.
We used to have chat bubbles in the UI, and you can only see 4 or 5 lines of chat.
Right.
So we took those out, and now you can see like 10 to 20 different lines. So it makes it easier to socialize. The squads are really a cool thing, because now instead of just having a friends list, you have kind of a smaller group of friends, and you can chat with them. They're more like cohesive group of people.
So is it kind of like a guild of sorts?
Yeah, it's
then?
exactly like a guild.
Very
you
cool.
can promote people within it. People can invite other people. So it's really neat. And then one of the other things we've done is we've added a UI element, which is a radial menu. When you click on a player, now you get a radial menu of all the multiplayer games. And it's just one click away from inviting that person to play a game.
Ah, nice.
Instead of going to the activity portal, clicking on a game, starting the game, then trying to invite a friend once you're in there.
So you've just made it a lot easier for people to get together.
Yeah.
Have you seen a lot of uptake with the squads? Like, are you tracking numbers of how many squads have been created so far?
Well, CS tracks how many squads there are, because they have to do the approvals of all the names.
Gotcha.
And there are a lot of squads. So only members can create a squad. Which is,
what's the current membership rate?
Current membership rate?
Yes.
How much, you mean?
Yes.
It's $5.99 a month.
$5.99.
And that's if you're doing the 1 month.
Right.
If you do 3 or 6 or 12 month or lifetime, it's significantly less per month.
It's a very good opportunity for us to talk about the fact that the station access, we've on the back of the brochure that Amy showed earlier, station access is being dropped to $19.99 very shortly. Station access has been at $29.99, and that gives you access to every single one of our games. And now it's going to $19.99, so it's a no-brainer, really. If you play even 1.5 games of ours, it's going to be a great deal for you. And it'll allow you to be a member in Clone Wars Adventures, isn't that right?
Yes, that is right.
So what's coming next for Clone Wars Adventures? The show itself is on hiatus. So does that mean that the game is stopping development until the show comes back on, or do you have things?
No, it does not.
Okay.
No. In fact, just last Friday we released Galactic Forces, which is one of our biggest 3D games that we've launched since we started working on the game. It uses some of the tower defense mechanics, and basically you play head-to-head against another player or the computer, and you're building your towers, and your towers then release NPCs, clones, droids, tanks, Jedi and Sith. And basically what you're doing is you're creating a war, and you're leveling up your buildings against the other players' buildings, and you can actually watch your troops fight each other. It's awesome. It's like you get to watch your own movie, really. and you're creating it by choosing what kind of troops you want to have out there. It's more of a strategy game, and it takes a little bit longer to play than all of our other games. But again, catering to the growing older audience that we have in the game.
Were you surprised to find how many older players you had?
No, not really. I know how many Star Wars fans are out there, including myself and half the team, or most of the team.
Lydia and I played that game on Friday while we were at work because she was writing a feature on it, and we were smack talking like nobody's business back and forth between each other's cubes. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, and it's a different game. You know, it's a different gameplay. So that's one of the cool new things we have. And then we're also working on a campaign with Lucasfilm, with Dave Filoni, and we're working on a storyline that's going to come out later this summer.
Cool.
We haven't really announced it, so that's a little bit of a sneak peek.
That's very neat.
Yeah, and that's really it. And then once season 4 launches, we're going to have new content as well with every episode, just like we did with season 3.
Yeah. I know that the players really start looking forward to those new episodes, and they start talking about them on Facebook and on the forums as well. So you guys have done a great job of tying that all together. So the inevitable question: what is your favorite game in the Clone Wars Adventures minigames?
Well, I really like the Galactic Forces, the new game we have. Other than that, I play with my kids every weekend, and we like the Republic Defender, the tower defense game, and my youngest actually likes the Stunt Gungan, where you toss Jar Jar Binks something. And that, again, that shows the difference in complexity. Stunt Gungan is a very simple game. It takes about 30 seconds to play through. Republic Defender and the Galactic Forces are both a little longer games, but it's really, you get to see the battles.
Very cool.
So those are my 3 favorites.
So you guys are doing a bit of a tournament at Fanfare as well, aren't you? Or a competitive element.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit? What sort of a game no?
Yeah, we can.
This guy's so difficult.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
So Todd, at Fanfare, there's going to be a competitive element involving Clone Wars Adventures. What will players be doing?
Yeah, what minigame is it that we're doing there?
Speeder bike.
Speeder bike. Okay, that's an easy one. Speeder bike racing. Speeder bike racing is pretty simple, straightforward, right? You get on your speeder bike and you race. You got to go through power-ups that let you go faster. So we're just going to have, rounds of tournaments on who's the fastest. And the cool thing is you can customize your speeder bike. You can buy your own speeder bike. You can make changes to it. So hopefully we see some variety. You show off your character because your character is riding the speeder bike. It's just going to be good fun.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. So it's basically fastest guy wins, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Well, it's not just the fastest, it's also who can navigate the course the best.
Well,
you can bump the guy next to you, you can go through, the power-ups. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrific. Well, thanks very much for stopping by.
Okay, you're welcome. All right. Thank you.
All right, who do we have next?
Who do we have next?
I think it's Floyd.
It's the Free Realms guy.
Yeah?
Right in the middle.
Sit between us.
Yeah, it's kind of odd because this
Hello,
is a live
ladies.
webcast. Hey.
Oh, it's live?
How are
Okay.
you doing? Yes.
No editing, all right.
All right, no editing.
All right.
How are you, Floyd?
Pretty good.
You excited to be at E3?
I am. E3 is very fun.
So what is Free Realm showing today?
Today we are showing, the game, and aside from that, we're showing farming. I'm talking a little bit about some of the upcoming farming additions we're going to do, like scarecrows and sprinklers and things like that, and talking a little bit about ranching. We're not showing anything from ranching yet, but it's pretty cool.
I've already put in my special request for goats on the ranching, so.
Yeah, we may have to do that. No kidding.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
So, Floyd, what is your actual title here at SOE?
At SOE, my title is Senior Artist, or Senior Artist, if you put the little tilde over the end. Yeah.
So you're showing farming and talking about ranching, and we're demoing on PlayStation while we're here too?
Yeah, we also have it running on PlayStation 3. Actually, there's a ton of Free Realms here at the booth because we have 2 PC stations on Alienware machines. Okay. We've got the 2 PS3 versions that are running, or 2 PS3 stations, and we've also got it running on laptops over in the Sony Vio area. So come get your fill. And you can go to the photo booth and get your picture taken on a T-Rex.
Which a lot of people have been doing.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's the Cyber T-Rex with the laser eye.
Very cool.
Floyd, so we have to make sure that we get his picture tagged on Facebook.
I think somebody already took one when they're setting up the booth. They're like, we're just doing this to calibrate the camera. They're like, here, hold this sword. So
Facebook.
I thought it might be.
Did you tag yourself yet?
You know what? I'm like, this is my phone, my high tech. I have the Razer, so I can play Bejeweled on this, and that's it. I can't check Facebook or anything, so yeah, I'm kind of off the grid right now this week, so I'll have to tag when I get back.
Right. So what can you tell us about Free Roams? What's coming up? What's next?
What can I tell you?
Talk about the ranching.
Okay, ranching. Well, we've got
Only so much as you don't get yourself
in trouble.
eviscerated by
I need a ride back to San Diego. Yeah. So we've got for launch we've got unicorns, Pegasus, ponies, T-Rexes, and dragons. I
that
believe.
you can raise.
You can raise them. Yeah. So you'll go out in the world and you'll gather samples similar to the way we do for plants, and then you'll have
Wait a
an
minute.
egg.
Gather samples.
I'm not sure how that part works out yet.
Are
That's
we
a
picking
design.
up?
Poo? I don't know how that works.
I wasn't gonna say it.
I don't know if there's DNA sampling in Free Realms yet or not. I don't know how that's going to work exactly, but that's a design question. Anyway,
Sounds really weird.
yeah, you can splice them with frog DNA, Life Finds a Way, Jurassic Park kind of thing. No, but you can get an egg and then you raise that egg. So everything is going to hatch from an egg, including ponies. So, because it's Free Realms, right? You're gonna,
Okay.
yeah, we didn't want to get into like a biology lesson. We wanted it to be fun kind of thing. So everything hatches from an egg, and you can raise that baby up to be a pet or a mount. So while we do already have like unicorns and Pegasus mounts and things like that, these will look slightly different. Basically the same body structure, but like different textures and maybe stripes or things like that. And then you can also raise the babies as a pet, which is brand new to Free Roams. We haven't had baby pets before, and they're very cute. So I think Nick Parkinson posted a little screenshot of the progression of unicorn. I think he has a baby and the pet and the mount. Yeah.
I think the concept art of that is my desktop right now.
Is it really? Yeah. They're very cute. It's like too cute almost. But yeah, it's fun.
Do you mind if we talk a little bit about the player base for Free Realms?
Yeah.
Because we were just talking to Todd Carson from Clone Wars Adventures, and he says that they're seeing a noticeable trend to older players playing the game. Now, I play Free Realms, and I certainly belong to the older generation. Are you seeing a fair number of adults playing what was ostensibly a kids' game?
Yeah, it's funny that it works out that way because, one of our games, EverQuest, has been around for, 13 years, I think? So a lot of...
Close, 12.
Okay, going toward 13. Okay,
Towards.
fast approaching. Yeah, anyway, so a lot of people that played that when they were like high school, college age now have kids of their own.
Right.
And they use Free Realms as a way to kind of get their kids playing MMOs as well. So it's a pretty cool thing. And then I met some people at Fanfare that they have a guild in Free Realms and they kind of train up kids to play, and they kind of keep them on the right path and make sure they're doing what they need to do, or they help them find rare samples. And they also run their own events, so they kind of have their own little mini community.
That's actually
cool.
very cool.
Yeah.
When you're designing these sorts of things, now you're the lead artist for the game.
Yeah, I'm an animator. Yeah, so I
Okay.
make the stuff move around.
So what sort of inspiration do you take? I mean, are you allowed a lot of free reign with what you're doing with these creations? And do they really let you go wild with them?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we get very specific things from design where the character needs, like for farming, for example, one of our animators, Jessica Rojek, she animated a lot of the farming anims, and it was from design they would say, okay, we need the harvesting animation for the player character to take exactly 2 seconds. So we would have to animate that so that it hit that exact speed. But then some things are just totally open. So like Kakenstein, for example, who's wreaking havoc in the game right now, they just said that they wanted a cake character, and they gave us a little bit of the backstory. Was that he was a cake that Lurga made, and he's angry at the world because she didn't get to enter the contest. So so when I animated him and we got the concept art done, which I don't do, that's a character artist does that part. I kind of made it so that he's kind of like a big kid, and he's just misunderstood. So he's kind of like Frankenstein's monster a little bit, He doesn't mean to be angry and nasty. He just kind of comes off that way. So when he walks, he's very fumbly and kind of moves that way. And then also, if you go on a launch pad with him, if you use the boss cake and you turn into him, and you go to a launch pad, he shoots up into the air and then realizes, oh my goodness, I'm super high in the air, and he tries to fly, and it's kind of funny.
So that's really cool. I mean, I've really enjoyed watching the evolution of your characters as Free Realms has grown over the last, 2 years now?
Yeah.
Wow, I can't, but in 2 years. That time has gone by really fast.
Yeah.
At Fanfare last year, we had a panel in which an actual pet, or it was a mount, wasn't it? The beach ball?
Yep.
That was something that was suggested by a player. And the Free Realms panel for this year is likewise geared to maybe, the tagline is maybe something that is suggested here might make it into game as well.
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of creative feedback from the players that help you come up with new ideas?
We do. I mean, sometimes some things are easier to implement than others. So if somebody says, hey, we have soccer balls, can we get a basketball? That's a lot easier to do than, I think it'd be great if we had a space game. That's a much bigger thing. Although we could probably just grab Clone Wars and say, go play that. But You know, I mean, those are the kind of the feedback that we get. Sometimes it's easy to implement, and then sometimes things are just outside the demographic. Like, we can't do like a zombie shooting game. You know, we'd have to do a free realms version of maybe paintball or squirt guns or something.
Right.
But
Which would still be fun.
Which would still be fun, yeah.
I'd vote for that.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to
Halloween,
see
man.
what happens. Yeah, Halloween's great. What I'd love to do for Halloween is do like a zombie tag kind of thing, where we one person's it, and then slowly they infect the rest of the world.
Oh, yes.
And then see who the very last person is that's tagged. They're the winner of the game.
I
think that would be great. I don't know
Nick,
if
are
we'll
you
do
tuned
it, but
in here? That would be
yeah,
really
hopefully.
cool.
Maybe we can do it. I don't know if we even have the tech for that, so. But that'd be cool to do.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
And maybe last.
Maybe, yeah. I could be the first and last mention of it. Who knows?
Well, thanks very much for stopping by,
Yeah,
Floyd.
thank you.
Always a pleasure to talk with
Do I
you.
exit stage left? How does that
You
work?
can exit stage,
Stage-
wherever.
whichever.
Exit stage backwards. Okay.
I wouldn't recommend that. It looks like we have a surprise guest.
Surprise guest.
Yes. Jesse Benjamin from the DCO team would like to come on. Have a seat. Here, I'll give you the mic.
First question is,
Sure.
did you just assassinate Manderson for the right to appear on the webcast?
I did indeed. I think it was fair. He got to do all those cool things.
So, Jesse, you've recently been promoted, right? What's your new title? Because it's
I'm
going to
a-
take me a while to learn this.
I'm just a senior game designer. Just
A senior game designer. How long have you been with SOE?
Ooh, about 8 years now.
Yeah, that's a fairly long time, so a really long time in the system. I was very pleased to hear that you'd had this opportunity. You're very well known for your work in Star Wars Galaxies especially. So tell us what you're doing with DCUO.
Recently, I've been working on the demo. Actually, we're showing out there. I've worked on some Game Update 4 as well.
That's very cool. So what did you do for Game Update 4? Because there's some really cool stuff coming out in that.
Yeah, I made we turned the raid, the Batcave 1 raid, into a 4-man alert, and we did a hard mode version of Hive. For Update 3, I did the Raid Shao Ghoul content that's coming out, all the ninjas for people like ninjas.
Very cool. You got some questions as well?
I was making sure he was loud enough.
Oh.
Am I loud
Is he
enough?
loud enough? Is he loud enough?
All right.
If not, we can just keep elbowing him. It's always interesting doing a live webcast like this because it's really difficult to accommodate for the different noise levels at E3. So is this your first time at E3 or have you been coming for years?
This is my third time.
third time.
Yeah.
How are you finding the crowds this year?
It's actually a little more mellow than it's been in the past. I mean, I was here when it got a little quieter, and I was here way before when it was really, really loud.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is kind of in between. You know, I was here in 06, and then I was here 3 years ago, and then now it's kind of in between. It's really nice. It's actually not bad.
Very cool. So you're going to Fanfare this year?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. Make sure he's guaranteed now. This is going to be the first year that DCO has panels at Fanfare. We're really, really excited about it. Are you able to talk about any of the panels, or? He's going to say, I have absolutely no idea what the panels are. My name's on them. I'll be there talking about DCO. Is that right, sir?
That is exactly right.
I think it's going to be a really cool time.
so
I'm
too.
hoping that a number of DC fans come out for it, and also a number of our players from other games. Again, talking about the station access with the brochures that we have at this show, we've coming soon is the fact that station access is dropping from $29.99 to $19.99 a month,
That's
which
awesome.
means that if you're playing any of our games, you can pick up all the rest of our games for only an extra $5 a month. So a pretty good deal.
It's a very good deal.
We expect to see some more folks from DCUO. Now, what can you tell us about the mega servers? Is that what we're calling them?
That is what we're calling them. What I know about them is basically it's not a server consolidation like a lot of people think. It's more of our back-end infrastructure allows us to have multiple merge our DB heads and people can play together.
Ah, interesting. So that people can join each other's instances and that sort of thing? Or?
Yeah, it'll shorten your queue time so you can play together.
Very cool.
It allows people to get in the game and play with each other
Right.
much more easier.
Now, one of the things I have to say is that at E3, everybody's asking for these DCUO lanyards.
They are.
And they confirm, without a shadow of a doubt, that Green Lantern is coming to the game.
I don't know anything about that.
Oh, yes, you do. Tony Jones, our community manager for DCUO, is sitting on the sidelines, and he's highly amused by that.
If you look on the other side, we got Batman and Catwoman, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So we just got some cool people on there, that's all.
So, are you working on the Green Lantern content?
I don't know anything about no Green Lantern.
See? He
we
can't
actually know
confirm
we
nor
do have
deny.
Green Lantern content. If you played the game, there's a Green Lantern, 2 Green Lantern episodes in there.
There you go.
It's already in game. We got constructs and everything. It's all in there.
All right. Well, you know, the movie's coming out this summer, so people have high expectations.
They do indeed.
Big picture picture of Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern on the side of a building here.
The
in
Figueroa
yeah.
Hotel, yeah. It's very cool.
Your hotel.
Which is why I'm staying there, as a matter of fact.
Now everybody in the world knows where you're staying.
Oh, not really. No. Okay, I'm pretending I'm staying there. I'm actually sleeping in my car in the back alley behind the hotel. No, that's not true. It's a great old, very old-fashioned hotel. A lot of fun. Within
very
walking
nice.
distance. Yeah. So, are you going to the karaoke night tonight?
Sure, why not?
You haven't even heard about
I didn't
this
even
yet.
heard about it.
Okay. It's an annual tradition for the SOE employees at E3 to go out for karaoke night during E3. This is going to be my first opportunity to go. I'll sing if you
You
sing.
gonna sing? Oh, I'm not gonna sing.
Oh, come on.
I'll stand in the crowd and sing along with people. How's that? I am not going on stage to sing. No way.
A lot of shy folks here.
Yes. We're
All right.
game developers. We're hermit-like. That's just how we are.
So how many people from your studio are going to Fanfare, do you know?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Tony, how many people from the Austin studio are coming to Fanfare? 8?
That's what I was gonna say, 6 to 8, but I wasn't sure. I didn't
Yeah,
want to tell
see,
you wrong.
you're really careful about what you say, aren't
I've
you?
learned my lesson.
The scars are still healing?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, we're really pleased that you could stop by here and have a chat with us.
I enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Did it? All right.
Oh, that was awesome. Who is our next guest that's queued up?
One of the Payday developers is going to come on
Right now?
right now. I think that's him sitting against the wall, isn't it? No? Or Robin's getting him, maybe? We're running early. That's okay. We're going to ask you guys to submit questions as well. So start thinking them up. Get those questions going. Are you guys having fun? Are they having fun, Joel? He says he doesn't know if you're having fun. Okay, I got a thumbs up. All right. Did you guys check out the pictures on Facebook? The ones of the green screen. Did you see me on a Pegasus? I can't decide which one I'm going to do next. I'm kind of thinking the speeder bike from Clone Wars. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, here they come.
Okay, you're going to sit in between us where we can keep an eye on you. All right, now one of the surprises for me at E3, because there's always a surprise with Sony Online Entertainment, we never know quite what we're bringing. And what we've got is a brand new game that's coming to both PC and PS3, and it's called Payday. I'd heard about it, hadn't had a chance to see it, but they've got a playable demo here that is absolutely awesome. So now we have Simon, and what is the name of your studio?
Overkill.
Overkill. And you're based in?
Stockholm, Sweden.
See, there you go. Really, really pleased to see that this independent studio is using us as a publisher. What can you tell us about Payday?
Payday is a squad-based first-person shooter game framed, with everything that you love about heists. Have you seen in all the epic Hollywood movies, like, you take out the security cameras, you go into the bank, and you take over the place, you subdue the hostages, all that stuff, trying to hold the fort while the police are trying to storm the place. SWATs are rappelling down the walls, coming through the ceiling. It's an action game, and it's all about working together as a team and trying to get the money and get out of there.
So is it a squad-based game? Is it PvP? How does it function?
It's all about working together. So you're playing together with your friends. You can play up to 4 people together.
Okay.
If you're playing alone, the other 3 robbers will be controlled by the AI, but then your friends can actually drop in at any time in the middle of the heist if they want to, and they will replace one of the AI-controlled characters. And if they drop out, the AI takes over again.
Okay.
So it's really smooth and streamlined in that sense.
So how long is a typical game session?
Well, if you play one heist, I'd say if you're a good player, you can do it in like 18, 19 minutes.
Oh, wow.
The bank heist that we're demoing here at E3. If you're a slow player, maybe 25 to 30 minutes or something like that. and if you're bad enough, you won't make it.
Ah, okay. Well, that would probably be me without some training. So now, one of the interesting iconic features of the game is the clown masks that everyone uses. And some of your guys doing the demos have these clown masks as well.
Yeah.
So where did that come from? Is that just because of the heist movies that have used clown masks?
Oh yeah, I definitely. I mean, we've taken inspiration from. It's an iconic, I think, aspect or element in bank robbery. The different masks that you can have. Thinking about the movie Point Break, where they have the different American presidents,
right?
Their masks, that. And in Heat they have the hockey masks, and they did the hockey masks again in The Town, of course. In the beginning of The Dark Knight, they have the clown masks, and of course our mask is kind of inspired by that.
Right.
Yeah.
So are all of your masks clown masks?
Yeah. The 4 characters in the game, they all have their own mask.
Gotcha.
Maybe in DLC we'll add more, so you can kind of customize and choose your own.
I bet people will really, really enjoy that. So now, are the 4 characters in game, are they all specialists or are they all generalists?
They're all generalists, in the sense that you as an individual player, you can choose any character at any time you play the game, and that character will then have the equipment and the weapons that you've gathered through gaining experience in the game. So it doesn't matter really which character you choose. It's not like they have their own special abilities, but they have their own personality and their own voice. And the voice is actually sort of a weapon in the game, because there's a button for shouting at people. I mean, that's
like it.
That's cool.
That's one of the things that you think about when you think about robbing banks.
Right,
you got to get
factor.
you got to get in there and tell everyone to get down on the ground and just stay there and take over the place. And when the police come there, you have the ability to you can at least try to shout at them and make them drop their weapons. If you surprise a cop who is by himself, you can actually take him hostage and make him cuff himself. If you've run out of cable ties, you can take the law enforcement hostage instead.
So there's a lot of depth to this game, really, as compared to your average shooter.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of objectives that you need to juggle while you're trying to survive the constant onslaught of SWATs and police and FBI agents. There's like a constant ebb and tide of assault waves and the lull between the assault waves in the game. And during the assault waves, the game becomes more of it's just about survival at that point, unless you're a skilled player. Or maybe you're playing, a difficulty setting that's too easy for you.
Right.
If you can, juggle and take care of the objectives while there's an assault wave going on. Because really, you should focus on that in the lull between the assault waves. That's the time when you have that's when you have the time to tend to the heavy-duty drill that keeps jamming and taking out the security cameras, shouting at the civilians, keeping them in check, and making sure that the police rescue units don't get in there and try to snatch your hostages from right under your nose.
So this is also a very fast-paced game.
Oh yeah.
No time to rest.
No. There's always stuff to do.
That's awesome. Now, because the webcast that we're doing is being broadcast to all of the subscribers and fans of SOE games everywhere, so they're going to have 2 big questions, I can guarantee it. Question number 1, when can we play the beta? Do you know yet?
There's gonna be a demo, definitely, and it's gonna be the bank heist that we're showing here at E3,
okay.
And everyone is gonna be able to take a crack at getting the money out of the vault in that bank. I can't tell you at this point exactly now when that demo will be released, but there will be a public demo.
And the second question they're going to have is, what's the release date for the game?
At this point, I can't be more exact than saying it's going to come out later this year.
Oh, this year?
Oh yeah,
wow,
yeah.
Terrific. I do know that I've been watching the people playing the demos, and they're really, really enjoying it.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting to see them because they're sort of walking up to it and they're going, oh, it's another FPS game, and then they sit down, and then their expressions change as they realize how many dynamic events are going on at any given time.
And if they had the time to play the level again, they'd realize that then the police would use different entry points and different tactics to try to get you. And AI-controlled characters. We have one level where there's a guy who's dropping a bag of C4 for you, and sometimes he drops it on the roof where he's supposed to, but sometimes he drops it in the alleyway behind the building. So then you got to run down to the ground floor and to grab it. So you got to adapt to all these things that happen. There's a lot of random, random factors that you need to, you need to think on your feet all the time.
Certainly bringing a lot of new items to the genre. I'm really looking forward to
Yeah.
playing that. And I'm sorry, I neglected to ask, what is your official title?
I'm creative director on the game.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. So how long have you been working on it?
It's I think 18 months.
Wow, not bad. That's actually, the game has come along terrifically since then. What engine are you using for it?
It's the diesel engine.
Ah, very nice. Anything else you want to tell our listeners about the game, other than to buy it?
Not that I can think of right now. No.
Has it been
Sorry.
rated yet?
It's probably going to be I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
because
guess
That's what I was guessing.
It's very, very
it's
intense gameplay.
It's and you can't shoot unarmed civilians, but the game doesn't encourage that. I want
Right.
to point that out because some people are like, no, it's a game about
Right.
it's like a massacre simulator, but it's not. Because the game encourages you to keep the civilians alive. You shout at them to make them throw themselves to the ground and stay out of the line of fire, because you trade the civilians to get your buddies back. If one in your team is killed, they're taken into custody, and then you need to trade the hostages with the police to actually get them back. So they're kind of your extra lives.
Right.
So,
So you are actually encouraged to keep them alive.
exactly.
Keep them alive.
But cops and SWATs, they're going to die by the hundreds.
Poor guys.
Bummer.
But they should know what they signed up for. And it's just a game. I mean,
Yes.
it's escapism. You
It
want to
is
you want to be able to do stuff that you can't or aren't allowed to do in real life.
Pretty much,
So-
which is why we play any of our games from Free Realms on down.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for joining us, Simon.
thank
I really
you.
appreciate it, and it's been great seeing the game demoed here. If you guys have a chance to get to E3, please come down and see this game. Is there any chance that we'll see Payday at the SOE Fanfare next month?
I'm sorry, I can't answer that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But
okay.
probably, yeah.
I'd be very interested to see if we could bring a demo or two of that game
That
to
would be
Fanfare.
awesome.
I'll have our people, we'll talk to your people
Yeah.
and see what we can sort out. Thanks
Sounds
again.
good.
Okay, very good to meet you.
Yep.
Sorry, and there was a question about EQ Next. We are not going to be talking about EQ Next at E3. And here we have joining us Mark Tuttle. Now, Mark is the Grand Overlord of Magic the Gathering Tactics, which if you guys haven't played it yet, you really should. I recently took advantage of the triple station cache over the May long weekend to load up on these cards, and I've been having an absolute blast in the game. And my husband's been playing it since it launched, and he pretty much said, well, it's about time. So, Mark, what are you actually demoing here? I mean, the game itself. Have you got any new features for us?
So what we're showing off today is the full client. When we were last here at E3, we had the alpha client. It was very stripped down. Everything that we have out there right now is the fully baked client. And we're also showing some content from Expansion 1, which is slated to hit at the end of August. So we've got about 15 different creatures and spells showing off right now.
So one thing I find interesting is your title is...
I thought you said Grand Overlord.
Well,
Isn't that what my business card says?
no,
No.
but it probably should.
So, I'm executive producer for Magic the Gathering Online and Legends of Norath and Star Wars Galaxies TCG and a host of others.
So this is one of the things that really demonstrates why I like working at SOE. We have the executive director of these games, and he's on the floor demoing these games all day, every day, which means that he knows and understands these games and plays them all the time, and I find that very impressive. You're a really hands-on sort of guy.
Yes, I am. I have 2 of them.
So what are you building next for Magic the Gathering Tactics?
So we're working hard on set 2. Set 2 will basically build on the strategies that we put in set 1. For the white color, we have some really unique strategies that will build soldier decks. For red, we're beefing up the goblin strategy. For black, there's some interesting things based on corpses, amazingly enough.
I'm so surprised.
Blue gets its usual trickery and denial BS, and green.
Hate those guys.
And
Hate those guys.
green, we've got a really cool character that we take it right from Magic the Gathering, which is the mitotic slime, which is we call him Squishy back in the office. He's a 2x2 40/40. When you kill him, instead of dying, he becomes 4 10x10s. So you think you're getting ahead of them, and
like it.
instead you're not. You're just making things worse for yourself. So a lot of really great gameplay. that is coming up in the new set. And you know, we're always watching the forums. We're watching what the players are thinking. Over the past 3 months, we've made a lot of significant changes to the game, like the addition of instants, some slight changes to how initiative is working, how the health system is working, and a lot of that is based on the feedback that we're getting from the players. So, you know, we really want the players to know we're watching the forums, we're listening to your feedback, and a lot of it is actionable, and we're making the game that you guys want to play.
It definitely is. One of the things I like about Magic the Gathering Tactics is it's very true to the original Magic the Gathering franchise. And you know, to that point, you have Shivan Dragons that work exactly as you would expect them to work, and the Sarah Angels work as you'd expect them to work, and the decks are very appropriate for their colors. But I'm sure you must get a lot of special requests from players. You know, like, I really want to build a squirrel deck. When can I get some squirrels? That's actually my question.
You've been talking to my my tech designer.
No, but I'll be talking to him more now.
There's actually a card with a squirrel on it I've been trying to get in the game, and nobody, they won't do it.
Oh.
Yeah, but no, you hit the nail on the head there. What we're trying to do is we are kind of a derivative product for Magic the Gathering in that we're not just we're not representing the 2D game like some other digital products, all of which are fine products do. We're telling a slightly different story. We're basically saying, what does it look like when two planeswalkers are in the middle of the woods, you know, beating the crap out of each other,
right,
when they're summoning creatures and casting spells, and because this is, you know, kind of a 3D game experience, not, you know, glasses on your forehead in a movie 3D, but as far as having characters that appear on the field in front of you, and your avatar, your planeswalker, is actually down there amongst them. It's an entirely new way of thinking about Magic the Gathering. The rule that we had from Wizards of the Coast, who's been great through this whole project, is if we use a card from Magic, it's got to feel right. It's got to feel like Magic. So what we're finding here with E3, with people that are sitting down and playing the game for perhaps the first time, is that once they understand the UI and how to move around in the game, they get it because it feels like they're playing a game of Magic. They're just doing it from a slightly different angle, a slightly different dimension.
How do you find people are adapting to, like, the play field is an actual play field, and it's fairly large in some cases and fairly small in others. And I usually play a green deck, and I have a lot of trouble moving my gigantic beasts around some of them. So you must find that, are you designing all of the play fields to accommodate special tactics that all of the different decks can take advantage of? Like the blue deck has a lot of flyers, as does the white deck, and so they can get across a lot of the obstacles more easily than us, you know, really huge land-bound green decks.
Yeah, there's a lot of careful thought that's put into that. You know, you want to make sure we don't create maps that have hiding spots,
right,
where, you know, single square creatures can hide from creatures that are 2x2s. You know, you don't want to create those situations where something is impossible to get to. So a lot of care really does go into that. It's funny you asked a question about how players are adapting to this. I had a question asked to me a moment ago that no one's ever said before, and that was the gentleman sat down and started playing, and he said, "What's the point of moving? Why do you want to move in this game?"
Oh.
And what he was thinking is, well, I'm a planeswalker. I should just be able to stand there and throw my spells, and I don't have to move. And I said, but your opponent just ran behind that wall over there. And he kind of stared at the screen for a second. Then he went, oh.
Right.
You know, it's what we're doing in this game is we're bringing the planeswalker into the fray.
Exactly.
You know, it's not like the trading card game where you're the planeswalker and you're just, you know, summoning things by throwing cards on the table. You're represented in that field of play, so you're vulnerable from everything else that's going on around you, but you also, as a planeswalker, have to move and adapt to the environment. So that's one of the really big tactical elements that we have in this game, is the fact that you really don't want to stay in just one place. You want to be moving around.
Myself, I tend to play decks with a lot of really large creatures, and therefore I'm always short of mana early on. So I have found that initial retreat usually works in my favor, so I'm always using the map to my advantage in that regard. The other guys are often trying to close in on me, box me into a corner, and I'm always hoping that by the time they get there, I'll have something really large to give them a welcoming greeting. So Amy, have you played the game much?
No, I haven't played that much.
I think we're gonna have to make it mandatory for our department, because we have a fair number of Magic geeks in our group.
Yeah, I play the card game a lot.
Ah, but you have not played online. You're going to really enjoy it. Now, did you say that you play a blue deck?
When I played the card game, I played primarily a blue and white mix.
I'm going to demote you.
I loved the Merfolk. They were my favorite to play.
Ah.
So
Blue.
if there's Merfolk in Tactics, I'm all over it.
You know, the people who play blue decks just don't like to play fair with anybody else.
You're right.
Essentially,
so true.
if you play blue, it's like, oh, you're going to play that? No, I don't think you are.
Yeah.
No, you don't get to play that. I like to play decks where my creatures actually walk up and smash you in the face. That's what I like to play.
Green.
So I don't need green
Force of
and
nature.
red, that sort of thing. But
Nope, I
You
like
know.
the white deck. Oh, I get a life. Oh, yeah.
Actually, one of the things I found interesting is in the scenarios that you guys have done, the campaigns, I found that I couldn't take my favorite deck and play it all the way through. It
That's
actually
right.
forced me to create additional decks. And it's made me play colors that I've never enjoyed before, and I'm having such a good time with that. I actually made a blue and white flyer deck that I have way too much fun with.
Yeah, that was deliberate design. We wanted to make sure that when you we didn't want somebody building one spell book and saying, you know what, I'm going to
done.
just roar through all of this,
Right.
because and we would very deliberately say, okay, you're going to build a spell book based on weenie creatures for this one, and then if you take that one into the next one, you're going to be pummeled, and you're going to be sitting there with your hair blown back, kind of like the black powder on your face. Like an exploding cigar just went off, and you're going to wonder what just happened to you. So you're going to step back, and you're going to rebuild, and you're going to go into something else. So when we release set 2, we have some more chapters and missions, which have some really nice surprises in them as well. So
Do we have a date for set 2 yet?
we're talking about end of summer.
Oh, nice.
Sometime
I'm
for
not
the
sure
end
if
of
I can.
summer.
It's
We've
a
got
good
a-
thing we've got fanfare in between, or I'm not going to last that
We've got
long.
a couple of shows in between there, so we'll be able to show more stuff, and we'll be spoiling characters and some of the new gameplay that we're offering. So, because players love the spoilers, they love to see the new strategies. So we're happy to show it to them.
One of the things I wanted to mention is that at this year's fanfare, we're going to have our very first ever Magic the Gathering Tactics tournament at late night gaming on Thursday night. And there's going to be some actual nice prizes there. So start practicing up on your decks. This one will be played with starter decks. So nobody's going to have any sort of an unfair advantage. And it's
Except
going to
me.
be really... Mark is officially not allowed to play in this. You'll all be very happy to know.
And we're broadcasting that night too, so maybe we can chat with the winner.
I would love to do that, yeah.
At 4 a.m.
You think it's gonna
Yes.
take that long?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, I think that the tournament is set to start at 10 p.m. and we're hoping it'll be done by midnight, but it depends on the players. So we'll see how careful they are at playing.
And there's also going to be a panel too, I hear.
Yes, there is, which
there-
Mark is going to be on.
And there could be prizes.
There could be. Could there be spoilers?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
I have to make sure that I'm not on any other panels at that time so I can come sit in on it. Well, thanks very much for stopping in here to chat with us, Mark.
Great,
Really
thanks.
appreciate
Yep.
that.
Back to the floor.
Thank you. So now, Robin, one of our technical people here, and let me mention again that Robin and Joel managed to pull off getting this podcast live in time. I am so impressed that it's actually functioning, because even 30 seconds before we went live, I was not completely convinced that we were going to do this. Robin says that there is a question from the floor about PlanetSide 2. What are we saying about PlanetSide 2 at E3?
Well, we're not doing anything with it at the show.
That's correct. Here's what we have to say about PlanetSide 2 at this time. It's kind of cool. We have no information that we can release right now, but believe me, it's in full speed ahead development, and the entire company's looking forward to it. That's all that we can say at this time. Any other questions that we have?
We're going to be at Comic-Con.
We will be at Comic-Con. Are you talking specifically about our new titles? With Planet, we're going to be at Comic-Con.
Oh, okay.
Will there be anything like us? SOE is going to be at Comic-Con in our usual booth, same location that it's been for the last couple of years. I think our main focus this year again is still going to be DC Universe Online because of Game Update 4. Now, as far as when we're releasing more information about our new titles, I'm not even going to guess at that. You know, the PR people would have our heads if we even tried to guess. And if we tried to guess, we'd be wrong.
Yep.
You don't want wrong.
Oh, we're going to broadcast Wednesday of Comic-Con. We're not sure of locations or times yet, but keep
Somewhere.
an eye on our schedules for that.
Yeah. So in closing out the show, we just want to encourage you to get in there and register for Fanfare.
Please.
That's, what is it, SOE? What is the address exactly?
SOE.com.
SOE.com/fanfare, no? Oh, there you go. We need to have a sign to hold up here. The reason we're sometimes confused on this is we are currently redesigning all of our websites to go under the SOE.com banner. So the new address for the fanfare is SOEfanfare.com. Registrations are still open. It's going to be a real blast this year. It's on at Bally's again, and it's going to be relatively inexpensive, of course. We made sure that we booked it in a hotel that was under $100 a night. It's going to be a really good time. Lots of free beer at the pool party, as much as you can drink. And for some of us, that's a lot.
Not for me. It's not a lot.
Amy's practicing. Amy's working on her alcohol tolerance. I'm coaching her in my spare time. So bring your costumes. We got the costume contest. We got tons of tournaments. We've got the live quests, all sorts of panels. Most of these are now posted on the fanfare site at SOEfanfare.com. Check it out. We really want to see you there. Anything else to say, ma'am?
Thank you for tuning in. This is going to be live on Monday, and it'll be live on YouTube in a little while. Whenever Joel gets around to working on it. He's making a frowny face, so I don't know how long that's going to take.
It's been really busy around here.
Has.
So, yeah, thanks very much for joining us for the community webcast and podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.